Taylor Swift, Halle Berry, Brad Pitt, Reese Witherspoon, and other celebrities are only a few of the people who are hooked on Pyrrha and its signature jewelry. Wade Papin and Danielle Wilmore create and craft Pyrrha signature pieces in their Vancouver studio. It is my pleasure to welcome Wade Papin and Danielle Wilmore from Pyrrha Design Inc. to Studio 4 to tell us more.
Hi.
And here comes the bride too, I understand. So now you're the married design duo.
Yes.
After many years of living in sin. Yeah.
You were living in sin, were you?
Yeah.
But you were creating and crafting.
Yes.
So I'm sure God looked favorably on that.
Apparently.
Apparently. How did it begin, and why is it called Pyrrha?
Well, Pyrrha, the name came from Pyrrha and Deucalion, Greek mythology.
Right.
Pyrrha and Deucalion were the last two people left on the earth after a flood.
Who knew?
And to repopulate
You
the
paid
gods.
attention in school, didn't you?
Yeah. To repopulate, the gods told them to throw stones, and the stones they threw became men and women.
Really?
We just really love the whole mythology thing in general, and so that seemed to go.
And it seemed like a strong female.
Yes, very much so.
Definitely. Yeah.
But males and females wear Pyrrha. I know that.
Yes, it's very
So
innocent.
first time you did this, like here you are together saying, what a great idea, let's start a business, or were you just fooling around, or what?
It began very unglamorously. Yeah. We met, and soon after that we quit our jobs, and we just started to just fool around with making beaded things, and we had no knowledge whatsoever about jewelry making, and we just asked around, and we were told, oh, you don't do things this way, and we did it anyways. So it was a lot of trial and error.
Sure, thinking out of the box a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, we use a lot of unconventional materials in the very beginning, and that kind of carried through to when we started the wax seal line. We had just found these old wax seals and thought, this is really interesting.
Yeah.
We really love the symbolism and the meaning behind them, and we just thought we could make jewelry out of this. We could
Sure.
find a way to make it work, and so we did more of that trial and error, and developed a process that we now use in our line every day.
And when you talk about a wax seal from Italy, from France, from North America, what were they used for?
Yeah.
They were used to seal envelopes, to put on the bottom of documents. So we've peeled these off. We're actually casting from the seal. So it's not from the tool. We keep all of the cracks within the seals, and we try to celebrate the whole imperfection of it.
Sure, and they all have a meaning. I know, I've got the Pyrrha catalog here, and try to decide which one you want.
Yeah.
You know, am I a horse-free person, or am I a greyhound, or am I a star?
Yeah.
What inspires me? Who inspires me?
Yeah.
What do I want to wear around my neck or on my finger? Look at yours.
Yeah.
Is that for sale, or is that
It is
yours?
for sale, but this is pretty well the first piece we made in this line, and I have yet to lose it.
Well, if you did, you could probably find it. No, it's beautiful. So what's the symbol?
This one is, most of them have very distinct symbology, but this one is really, it was a royal seal from Luxembourg. And right now, as we've gone forward with the line, we try to stay away from anything that's a personal seal. But this one,
What's the most popular seal, or is there a most popular seal? Is it because Julia Roberts is wearing it?
Yeah, definitely there are seals of the moment where we'll have a run on one in particular because somebody's wearing it. Taylor Swift's wearing it on the cover of Billboard. Well, of course.
What's she wearing?
She's wearing the 5 Fleur de Lis. So which is a popular piece anyway. So that's great. But definitely, it's very personal. So even from store to store, we sell all over the world. So a store will have a certain kind of clientele, a very feminine clientele, or a very needs empowerment kind of clientele. So it'll depend on the people that are buying.
But how did you get from small little studio in a refurbished house to international clientele, to the Jodie Fosters and the Taylor Swifts and the Julia Roberts and the Brad Pitts wanting to wear Pyrrha?
Very, very slowly. That's the one thing we did. We grew very, very slowly, and we didn't have any financing. At the beginning we were doing things like taking money out on our credit card to pay for our bills.
Don't tell him.
Yeah. In the very early years, we had a bay card, and we used to go to the bay, to the deli, just so we could eat, because...
I love these stories because for all of us, you know, it's the Horatio Alger story. You say, and then one day, Reese Witherspoon called and said,
well, it makes it more powerful when something like that happens because it means something to you. It's not just you started and then scoot straight to this top.
You hear so many of those stories where people say, oh, I started making this and then suddenly I was shot to stardom, but really that's not realistic.
No, it's not. And most people you talk to, entrepreneurial people, say you fail and you fail and you fail.
And you fail again and you don't give up and you fail.
But you stick to the dream, you have a vision, and you have a vision that is eco, or green, right? Because this is recycled silver, or what is it?
It's
recycled? Reclaimed.
So all of our silver, all of our metal in general, we use silver, bronze, and 14 karat gold.
Right.
And it's all reclaimed. So it comes from a source that's not the ground. So it'll come from an industrial, I mean originally.
Of course.
Means we melted something down.
Originally, of course, but it comes from an industrial source, or there's all kinds of uses for metal, and so
the social responsibility factor is key today, I think.
And it's amazing. Like I was just reading a statistic about how it requires 17 cubic tons of ore to produce the same amount of gold that you would get from 1 cubic ton of cell phones.
Really?
Yeah.
Gee.
And they're just to think that we were just throwing it in the garbage before it became all about reclaiming and recycling. It's amazing.
We're getting a titch smarter.
Yeah. Hopefully.
Titch.
Yeah.
Not a whole bunch, a titch.
Yeah.
No, but that cuff, that is magnificent. Tell me about that.
Yeah, this is one of our really special pieces. So every time we make one of these, we do it all by hand entirely. So every little bit of silver that's there was formed by hand. So
by Danielle, actually.
By me, I actually make them myself.
So it's a true design.
And what are you doing?
True custom piece.
In the
I'm
meantime,
watching TV
Wade.
while she's doing that.
Good. She's whiling away. Does he cook?
Sometimes.
Good.
I do actually cook.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, if I do the prep and the cleanup.
Right, the cleanup.
Yeah.
In the meantime, you're making the jewelry.
Yeah.
Yes, I see.
Yeah, so this incorporates a lot of the different seals. So this piece is quite special to people, especially collectors of our line will like a piece like this or like the piece that I'm wearing here. So this piece has a number of different seals. And so you can customize something like this too and have...
Yeah, and many of the seals have words on them and special words and that kind of thing. And Julia Roberts is wearing which one?
She's
wearing the Aurora.
This in the new movie Larry Crown, which is we just saw the trailer for
Good
it
placement.
recently. So
yeah.
Gee.
And it's very much front and center in the movie. So that's pretty great.
That's pretty great.
Exciting.
And Jeremy Renner, didn't he wore one, didn't he?
Yeah.
He did.
Or does he just have one?
He wore it on in GQ, and he also wore it for his Vogue contributor photo.
Yeah.
So the cover of GQ or the cover of Billboard, that's good.
Yeah.
For
Now,
biz, or is it?
An interesting thing. Well, an interesting thing to note is that, and this seems to be the way it is with celebrities and our stuff. We don't gift. We don't do any of that, like trying to put it on people kind of thing.
That's probably a smart financial move. Don't give anything away.
Exactly.
My father always
and
said.
It's just
But so what happens as a result is like Taylor Swift on that Billboard cover. She just showed up in that. She didn't. It wasn't even credited because it was her own.
Sure.
And the same with Jeremy Renner for both of those magazines.
Happy accidents. We like those.
Yeah.
You know,
and it makes us feel like they really love it because they showed up for a photo shoot and they said, "Don't take this off me. This is my piece. I'm wearing it."
It feels important to me.
And jewelry is important that way. If your mother gave you something, you'll always treasure it. Well, if you liked your mother, you know. But it's, to me, giving jewelry to a child or a lover gives you a piece, and even when he leaves, you can remember him.
Well, it's a remembrance of a time.
Don't you dare leave, or she's taking the ring back.
Yeah. You know, you use jewelry as a remembrance of a special time in your life or a time you had to go through something and you made it out the other side. So, yeah, there's very sentimental connection.
And part of the reason that we started with this line was we really wanted something that wouldn't be a kind of throwaway thing because so much jewelry, you know, it's mass produced overseas. It's you know, you wear it for a season, you throw it away or you stick it in a drawer. But we really wanted this to be something that becomes almost part of your body, where you
you
really
just don't take this piece off.
It becomes very meaningful to you.
No, I understand.
Of course, people layer a different story given the day, how they're feeling. But people usually have one that they just hold very close to their
Exactly. And you've got some new pieces with pearls. I saw them this morning with keys and pearls. And
yeah, well, because it's like the cuff with people. If they start small, they do a single piece. Maybe they add another one, but then they kind of start to get hooked on the line. They want a little more. So now they want more of a fashion piece, which is maybe a pearl.
I know, my sister's already put in a request. I bought her one, and I bought my niece one, her daughter, in Colorado, and they've already written to see if maybe I could bring another one when I come as the hostess gift or whatever you call it.
Yeah, that's fine. That's
so
fine.
I guess they're hooked.
Well, there's a story. That's the thing. When there's a story to it, is
and it means something because how you title them. Like one is like Never Despair, or you know, say some others. Truth, Beauty. How about those three women? There's one with three women.
Graces.
The Three Graces.
Yeah, you know, and we have lots of, everybody takes it their own way. Somebody will come in, we have a store in LA, and so people will come into the store and say, oh, I have two sisters. I'm going to get the Three Graces, and then we'll decide which who is which, you know. So who represents
Or if somebody dumps you, you get the goodbye. Or do you have one of those?
The birdcage. If you neglect me, you will lose me.
If you neglect me, you will lose me. Perfect. Oh, how much fun. Nice to meet you.
Very nice to meet you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
What's that again? If you neglect me?
If you neglect me, you will lose me.
Okay,
and it's a bird flying out of
Every
a cage.
girl needs that.
A bird flying out of a cage. Of course they do. Thank you. Wade Papin and Danielle Wilmore from Pyrrha Design Inc.